Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet all the guests here at the conference, all the guests here in the studio, and it's also an honor to meet all the guests via stream. We are in a really important moment at 11-bit Studio, and it's a really good moment to talk together and share a lot of interesting information with you. Starting with results, focus that we currently have, products, of course, and the dates. I think that will be really important for you, but hope not only that. So good to see you together here, and let's start with results. Martin, your part.
Thank you, Przemek. My name is Martin Bellewaerde. I'm the CFO of 11-bit Studios. I'd like to begin with giving an overview of our 2022 financial results, and then come on and say a few words about the first quarter of 23, and then conclude my presentation. So looking at 2022, I'm pleased to say that we generated revenue of 74 million Polish zloty. That was a 6% increase on the previous year and significantly ahead of our internal budget. All sales were primarily from our back catalogue. But within this number, I'd like to point out that 38% of our revenue was generated by third-party publishing titles. And in particular, in the second quarter of 2022, over 52% of revenue came from publishing. However, on the cost side of the income statement, clearly we felt the effects of inflation on our cost structure, but also higher royalty payments paid to external developers as a result of the increased revenue that came from our third-party publishing. Operating profit for the last year came in at 20 million Polish zloty, and this was 10 million lower than the previous year. Finally, when we take into account financial income, financial costs, and tax, net profit was reported at 23 million zloty for the last year. I'm particularly proud to say that during 2022, 11-bit Studios made the largest ever donation in its history. We donated $850,000 to the Ukrainian Red Cross in March of last year. On the balance sheet side of our financial statements, intangible assets have grown to 100 million zloty. That's a 40 million zloty increase on the previous year as we continue our investment in our 3 internal projects and our publishing projects. Our cash position remains strong, and at the end of the year, it was 87 million zloty. All net profits, as you know, is retained in the company to finance our future investments, and as a result of this, equity has grown to 225 million at the end of 2022. Coming on to look very briefly at the first quarter of this year, we generated 15 million zloty of revenue, which was ahead of the market consensus, operating profit of 2 million, and then again allowing for financial income, financial costs, and tax, net profit of 2.5 million zloty. A quick summary of the first quarter: 42% of revenue was generated from our third-party publishing business. I'm very pleased to say that our associated company, Fool's Theory, we acquired a 40% stake in February of last year, for the first time made a positive contribution to our financial results. And I'm very proud to say that cumulative sales of This War of Mine on Steam broke through the US $10 million barrier in March of this year, which means that going forward, Steam's revenue share decreases to 25% from 30%. And finally, we increased our stake in Starwood Industries from 5% to 6%. I'd like to conclude by showing you just how much we've been spending on our titles over the last 5 years. In 2018, we invested 10 million zloty in our internal development and third-party publishing titles, and that number has grown to over 46 million zloty in 2022. Thank you very much for your attention, and now I'd like to hand back to Przemek.
As you saw, results are great, but results are not everything. You know, and before we talk about what's the future for 11-bit Studio, we'd like to share you some info. Where are we currently? Where 11-bit Studio is currently. So let's start with some kind of glimpse at the history. So you've probably seen our previous investor meetings, like in the last year or 2 years ago. We've shared a lot about our ambition, plans, identity, and the future. And I believe you know that well. You really know that well, especially on the strategy and identity side. I also believe you know a lot about our products. And I believe you know that we've made a huge leap. And it was a huge leap on different fields, not only in the scale of number of the team, and it's a huge change, of course, but also on the capabilities of the studio. The experience we gained with the new technologies, new engines, new genres, that was a really steady process and really huge improvement. And also the budgets, Martin just showed you how much our budgets grow. It was a really huge leap. And to recall you some history moments at 11-bit Studios, starting only from the 2018, I just want to pinpoint some moments, some elements that made us where we are currently. So let's start with that year of Frostpunk 1 delivery. And that was the delivery year, of, as we call it, and you will see it why we call it this way in a second. So Frostpunk and Moonlighter in 2018. Then in 2019, a different kind of a year, as we call it, year of growth. We released, of course, Children of Morta, but our main focus was on growth that time. We increased 100 people at the 11-bit Studios. We received awesome awards, you know that very well. And we went through some kind of first phase of reorganization. Then the next year, in 20th, the year of growth again, COVID struck. We had to adapt to that situation. We also moved to the new office, moved to the new Angel. Again, scale. We have a lot of recruitment going on at 11 Studios at that year. The next year, again, year of growth, organizational changes in teams. We introduced a product strategy, and we gladly spoken about that 2 years ago at the conference. And again, there was a lot of scaling up happening. 2022, again, focus on growth. We introduced hybrid work model. We introduced salary ranges that are transparent first in a history, probably in game dev in Poland. We've made some really wonderful equity investments, and you will have a guest from the companies today with us. And also, what is really important for us, TWOM became the official Polish educational curriculum. That is something that really, talks with who we are, who 11 Studio is. But that were the years of growth, and also what was happening alongside was the growth of our games. And that's where we are currently. We are in 2 very important years currently, a year of the, as we call it, the years of delivery. 2023 and 2024 will be really crucial. Why they are crucial? Because those 12 months before us, we will be focusing on delivery on all of that we said on the past years. We'll be focusing on delivering our products. What it also means that this is not a normal year. Those will not be normal 12 months. Those months will focus on games and less on other things. So we are really lessening the pressure on operational changes currently, pressure on growth, and also on acquisitions. I'm not saying we are stopping that completely, but we are not constantly looking for new opportunities. We are focused on games currently. Why? Because it's, as I said, key important moment at 11-bit Studios. One of really 3 most important ones in our history, because we introduced a lot of ideas last year, as we call it, our strategy. We, like 5 or 6 years ago, decided that we would like to have 3 teams. We would like to make 3 different meaningful games with 3 new dear teams. And we showed you our direction with how we would like to organize the company around internal dev and ex-dev, so our publishing department. We are at the moment of verifying that ambition. And that ambition is not only just some, let's say, numbers ambition, it's a meaningful ambition, because as you will see, all of our games have the element we are very cherishing, and this meaningful aspect of our games. And yeah, those games, so I think it will be the easiest way to show you that we've made what we promised, and we will be able to show it through the games. So let's switch to that, and let's start with Frostpunk 2.
Ambition. Do you hear it? It's restless. Ambition requires men to feed upon. It also needs time, direction, and sacrifice. But for every man who fulfills his calling, there are thousands left with nothing. It's them who knock and open the door to hell.
Hello, my name is Kuba Stokalski. I'm the game co-director and design director for Frostpunk 2. And today I'll tell a few words of where we are with the project, following up on the trailer that you just saw, and what is the immediate and long-term future for us. So with Frostpunk 2, we've always said that we are approaching it with a more than a sequel mindset. This truly is a very ambitious project, one that is taking what was good about the first installment, that was a huge success for us, and expanding beyond the city builder foundation into new genres, making it a bit more genre bending, hopefully appealing to more people, and also expanding a lot in scale and what you'll be able to see in the game. As you saw in the trailer, it really moves beyond what was key in Frostpunk 1, this survival story of humanity pushed to the brink. And if you did manage to survive the end of the world, the key question around we are focusing Frostpunk 2 is, so you survived the end of the world, what happens next? So as I said, there are a lot of ambitious changes in the game, and the scope and the scale is expanding a lot. And with the trailer that you just saw, which we showed on PC Gamer Show last Sunday, we're actually starting the proper campaign for the project. So from now on, you can expect more information at a steady pace. But what is really crucial for us, going back to what I said about the ambition and the scale changes and hopefully broadening the audience for Frostpunk 2, is the fact that we really want to make this communication as open as possible, to include our audience, include the players in what they see, so that they can see what we are doing with the IP and with the game and bring them on board. So we can expect we will actually be showing the game to the press very soon in August during the Gamescom conference, and following it up with a US press tour in September, which will then, as a package, will be capstoned with a gameplay reveal trailer pretty soon. During the development of Frostpunk 2, what we are actually want to make sure at the heart of what we're doing is to take the feedback from our players deep into our hearts. So we are prioritizing very highly external playtesting. If you're following our social media, you might have seen recruitment calls for our playtesting sessions, which happened in April, and one that we just concluded at the beginning of June. And in both of those, we were testing different aspects of the game. And we're very happy to say that in both of those cases, we got, even with the scale changes and everything we're ambitiously trying with the project, we did receive very positive reaction to those changes. There is a bit of surprise as well, but all of this amounts to a positive sentiment. And this mindset of including the feedback will stay with us. It was with us from the very beginning, but will now stay with us until the release day, when we will be play testing and testing every major milestone going forward. Now, mind you, what I want to point out that these are not necessarily quality assurance testing, right? This is a separate topic which we are, giving a lot of attention to with as a team and as a whole, to ensure good quality, technical quality and stability as the game develops. But what we are doing and testing here is really the quality of the player experience. So is it a good game? So on the production side of things, the team is currently 95% staffed. We're missing just single people, and it really is the largest team in 11-bit history, currently at around 80 people developing the game full-time. With the playtest we had in April and in June, all major features of the game are currently playable, and we are aiming to reach an alpha status in autumn, where we wrap all of the major developments. That is, we consider it to be currently on track. What I can add on top of what you already know about the project from Sunday's reveal is the fact that, yes, we are targeting next year for our release window, but I can narrow it down for you today and say that we're actually we're aiming for the first half of the year. So this is everything for Frostpunk 2 right now, and I'm going to invite Tomek Kisilewicz, the game director for The Altars, to tell you more about it next.
Hi, my name is Tomasz Kisilewicz, and I'm a game director of The Altars. Now, when we met here a year ago, we were just after a global reveal of our game. And ever since then, our whole team was working extremely hard in order to actually deliver it. So a lot has been going on behind the curtains, but we couldn't wait to be here today and slowly start sharing that info with you. So, first of all, at the beginning of the year, we started external playtest of our game. And this is a key moment for us, as we are preparing an entirely new and original IP. So the moment when actual players have a chance to finally get in contact with our game and play it, that's so important to us. And we've been very happy with the results so far, as we gathered a lot of positive feedback. But most importantly, what those playtests showed to us is that both our concept for the game and the way that concept translates into an actual product that really resonates very well with the players. But playtesting it is just the first step. Now, we really want to show our game to the world. So I'm happy to announce that we will be showing The Altars to the press at Gamescom this year, later on also joining the US press tour, and this all will be followed with a global gameplay reveal trailer that will be marking the start of this intensive marketing campaign leading up to the release. Now, this will be also a very crucial time for our development team, as in September we're planning to close the alpha stage of our game. Now, there's still a lot of work ahead of us, but with our current track and the roadmap being on track, we're aiming at the game being fully playable from start to finish and feature complete by then. Now, with every game at 11-bit, we try to add something new, and we try to expand our capabilities as a studio. And with The Altars, one of those new things that we're doing is we're introducing fully voiced over and fully animated interactive dialogues. And that's over 10,000 lines of those dialogues, and I can share with you that we just started last week our recording sessions in London with a very acclaimed and experienced set of voice actors and voice directors. But that's not the only new thing we are bringing with The Altars. Now, we want our game to be equally enjoyed by all the players, no matter the platform or the controller set they prefer. And we want to deliver it on day one. That's why I'm happy to announce that The Altars will get a Steam launch on all three major platforms: PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. When? Well, we are currently looking at a release window in the first half of 2024. Oh, thank you very much, and let's see what's going on in the team of The Invincible.
You became an astronaut because the cosmos terrifies you.
No. Because I want to understand it someday. Or at least find as many answers as possible. Astrogator, we shouldn't behave here as if we were at home.
For a long time now, the cosmos has belonged to the one strongest species. Humans.
So, there was life here before. Everything that happened here overwhelms me.
Not every mission ends in success, Doctor. We have to save what we can. Save you.
What is there to understand? We have to destroy it. Even if it means destroying everything.
Hi, my name is Marek, and I'm head of Starward Industries, a game development studio that works on its first game, The Invincible. And I'm here to talk about a little bit about events that last in the past few months and state of development. So basically, we have the beta, meaning that the game is pretty much complete, but we're working on polishing quality, a lot of bug fixing, preparing launch on consoles, and completing things, including voiceovers, because it's a decent scope of living actors, which is a very important part of the game. And we want to bring the game to several languages from the very beginning, probably adding more later. So that's what's happening right now. We're translating the game to several markets. And we test the game and we gain feedback. We ask press, we ask players, several profiles, several occasions, on smaller parts and also big parts of the game. So we can put and aggregate this feedback and make the game even better experience after all. And we started this last stage of marketing, including for the first time, we made a demo. We showed the demo behind the doors during GDC in San Francisco. We showed it to the press, many slots. I believe it was 30, 40 different journalists playing the game, later sharing the experience in press releases. But it was first contact with very fresh audience with the part in a state of beta. Later, we shared this demo. It was a part with the excavation area in the game. We shared it with the influencers, and it was first time you were able to see actually the people playing the game on YouTube, so totally public. A few days later, everybody that wanted to test had a chance to play the game. So it was happening during the Ludonarracon. And a few days ago, we showed another trailer showing a little bit more our main character, Jasna. And just in a few days from now, we'll be delivering a second demo. It'll be a completely different part of the game. It will be a larger demo. And I can say that since the last time we showed the game to the players, to developers, to press, we already implemented several major improvements to the game. So I hope it would be visible and will play nice with the new demo. And after after these several events, the demo and some announcements, we managed to hit the 54th place on a global wish list. Since the new demo is ahead of us, a few days, we expect to do some major impact as well, because it will be a bigger festival. Cinex Fest is much more wider than LudoNarraCon we attended last time. And one more thing I want to mention, we have a partnership with hardware manufacturer Dell with this series of gaming hardware Alienware, and our game would be presented. It would be included as a wallpapers on a box of computers, gaming computers. So I can confirm the game is coming this year. You can expect something about end of third and start of the fourth quarter of this year. And let's see one more great game, the Thaumaturge. Please enjoy the trailer.
Hi, dear guests. My name is Karolina, and as a design director on the Thaumaturge, today I would like to share with you some information on our upcoming project. So let's start with the stage that the project is currently in, which is beta. It means that all the features are included, being polished and optimized. Functional and linguistic tests are pending, and the game is getting ready. Earlier this year, the Thaumaturge got focus tested, and it was well received. Players stated that the game looks almost ready, with a need of polishing around the rough edges. As the main positives, the players stated non-obvious setting, 1905 Poland in the times of partitions with a bit of strange magic, salutors, non-linear and mature story, memorable and lovable characters, unique approach to combat, and visuals. From the data provided by SteamDB on 7th of June, since 28th of February, the Thaumaturge got more than 11,000 new followers, with the trend still growing. We are also happy to announce that for the release of the project, we are looking at the Q4 of 2023. Thank you.
Thanks, Karina. I think it's a Piotrek part, so welcome, Piotrek.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Piotr Bajraszewski, Director of Business Development at 11-bit Studios. And I will start with Frostpunk Mobile. That's the project that we have already presented to you last year. And as you can imagine, it's a very hard project to tackle right. At the moment, we are iterating on the game design. We are trying to make the game as much in line as we can with the IP of Frostpunk, with what we want the game to be. And that will take us still some time. This project is a long shot, and it was a long shot from the beginning, and it is a big adventure for us. However, that is something that we knew from the beginning. And that is why, and it's important to underline, that is exactly why we structured the deal the way that the additional delays or reiterations are not costing us at 11-bit Studios any additional money. obviously, we still hope that the game will be a huge success and a great addition to the 11-bit Studios portfolio and widening the Frostpunk IP. At the moment, with NetEase, we are working on a business strategy. We are even thinking about getting the worldwide publisher so we can get the best possible financial outcome from the game. And we are planning to release the game worldwide in the second half of this year. Regarding the China, so the Chinese market, NetEase still will be a publisher there, and NetEase will be still taking care of ISBN, so the Chinese certification for us. And that is still pending. However, we see more and more games getting the ISBN approved lately, so hopefully it will be a case as well here. On the business development side, as I said last year, and as we are always saying, we have established a partner network of more than 30 partners around the world. We have a close connection to Steam, to Google, to Stadia, to all the console providers like Xbox, Sony, or Nintendo, and that's something that we have for years. On top of that, we have more than 15 million base games sold. That's only the base games that we have sold, only through the proper games sold, not any subscriptions, not any giveaways. Also, something that we have mentioned already today, we have very impressive wish lists. Frostpunk 2 is on number 7 of the top wish list on Steam, which means that only 6 games have more wish list than Frostpunk 2. The Invincible is on a very solid 54th place, and as Marek said, we have ahead of us the demo and additional activities. The Altars and the Thaumaturge, they are at a very good place regarding where we are with the marketing campaign, which is still very early. But we see very good conversion from the traffic that's coming to the pages, so we believe that once we will start rolling the marketing campaign, it will increase significantly. One sneak peek regarding, or sneak behind the curtain regarding what we are doing is that with all the deal and all the sales, we are gathering not only players, but also and not only players that will be promoters of our future titles, but we are also increasing the recognizability of the 11-bit Studios brand itself. One of the tangible examples that we can give is our 11-bit Studios group on Steam, which at the moment has 436,000 Steam followers, which makes us the 15th biggest publisher on Steam, which is a very high place to be. We did it last year. We focused on that. We did a dedicated building in order to gather those people, and it worked very, very well. It's very important, as probably some of you do not know, because those 400,000 plus players, they act almost as instant wish listers of our future games. They get the email notification on launch, Steam algorithms are pushing the games toward them on sales, etc. So it's a very important thing, and another example of how we are growing our user base. And all of that, partners, players, deals, recognizability of 11-bit Studios, all of that enable us to secure next year of partnership for our outstanding upcoming wave of releases. Next year of partnership, next years of visibility. Basically, you have seen our amazing games today, and from the biz dev side of things, we are ready to monetize them as much as possible. Regarding those partnerships, one of the partnerships that we are closing at the moment is a portfolio partnership with AMD. That's a big deal for us. It will be the biggest hardware deal we have ever done. It will be a multi-year deal that will give us also marketing support, AMD engineer support, hardware and possible even the bundles with AMD hardware on the launch of our games. But that's not all. Last year, we have focused significantly on increasing the cross-media visibility and cross-media competences at BuildDev. And things you will see in the upcoming futures are the physical editions and merchandise. That's something that we have done in the past, and we learned from what we have done in the past. We are observing the market, and we have implemented already a rollout plan for all of our games. Nothing to be shared yet, but soon you will see the results of those plans. The Frostpunk board game, so a side project that we had, but very successful one. It achieved success, and we see a potential in such side activities. Especially that Frostpunk board game already gave us 7 digits revenue coming to 11-bit studios that we already received. Regarding the TV adaptations, so very interesting topic. We have established a solid framework for future opportunities. We have constant communication with all the biggest buyers and streaming platforms. However, it is important here to remember that we see this. That the whole market of TV adaptation is slowing down, and we probably will see less IP adaptations in the upcoming years. And thank you very much. That's it. And now I'm heading over to Łukasz Kukawski. Thank you. Here you are.
Thank you, Piotr. Hi, my name is Łukasz Kukawski. I'm the PR lead at 11-bit Studios. So we've talked a lot here about the games that are being released in the upcoming months and quarters. But we do have more games in our pipeline. So let me give you a brief update on what's happening with other our projects and more upcoming games in the lineup, and when can you expect some news dropping. So first off, let's start with P8. So this is our internal project done by our internal development team. This is an ambitious project that we are aiming as of having a technological and conceptual endeavors for us as the company. We can say it's a trailblazer project for our company. And currently, the team is gearing up for external focus test planned for the upcoming weeks. And with all the development happening, we will be dropping more information about the game in 2024. Now, let's move on to Codename Ava. So this is one of the projects from our publishing department. So this is a game, a big game made by a small team that we're encouraging to do great things. This is a vibrant and unique proposition in our portfolio, something that is not yet there in our portfolio. This is something that we're introducing with this game. Currently, the team is planning a USB-based focus test this summer, and we are planning to tell you more about the game in the first half of 2024. Moving on, Codename Botan, another project from our publishing division. So this is an evolutionary project made by an experienced team that is using their knowledge to provide gamers an experience that they want and they need. Currently, the development is on track to deliver alpha early in 2024. And by that time, we're also going to reveal more about the game. So expect things in 2024. So these are the games that you've already heard about. But before I conclude my part of the presentation, I also have one more thing to share. So this is Project 10, a new title that is coming once again from our publishing division. This is a game that is already in advanced development stage. So we have already an alpha. The game is fully playable from start to finish right now. And you can expect a shockingly deep and artistic experience once we reveal this game in third quarter of this year. And we're planning to release the game first half 2024. Thank you very much. Passing it to Przemek.
Thanks, everyone. So I started with that question, where are we at 11-bit Studios? And I think you saw that. We are in a delivery year. So not only what Cookie just said at the end, when we will reveal some news about the future projects, but mostly about delivery of our games, launch games. So as you can see, a lot will happen in the next 12 months. Starting with two of our internal games, Frostpunk 2 and The Alters, first half of 2024. Awesome publishing games, the Invincible and the Thaumaturge from the companies we are connected with. So yeah, later this year happening. Frostpunk Mobile, second half of this year. And something new for you, again, very, very soon, Q1 2024. A lot of hard work, and that's, I think, also a moment to thank the whole team of 11-bit Studios and the companies we are working in. Yeah, we are before a huge and important moments at 11-bit Studios, and we are focused to deliver that. Today you saw a lot of dates, and on the other hand, I believe the next year we will see also a lot of awesome numbers and awesome artistical achievements as a result of what we will publish. Thank you. And let's switch to the second part of our conference, so the questions.
Thank you very much, Przemek. Hello, everyone. My name is Bogumiła Marczyńska. Welcome to Q&A session. Let's start first with a questions sent by our online audience, and then I will switch to the local guests. The first question is, will Frostpunk 2 and The Alters debut only on PC or also on consoles simultaneously? What about the Invincible and the Thaumaturge? Przemek, I think it's for you.
Yeah. Thanks for the questions. Hi, everyone, again. As you already saw, we are completely sure that The Alters will launch all of the major platforms from the day one, just what Tomek said at the beginning. Regarding the rest of the portfolio, we are aiming for that also, but we are not 100% sure it will launch with all of those games. We are aiming for that. But for example, like if I can talk about the Frostpunk 2, for example, yeah, it's a really ambitious project and it's a really heavy UI-driven game, for example. We are aiming for the simultaneous launch, but we are not 100% sure, for example, from UI UX perspective, if we will able to deliver, for example, the pad experience at the level of the experience we would like it to be. So we will see. The direction is there. All games simultaneously. The Alters is 100% confirmed. The rest. We will, I think, announce later on if we will be sure.
Okay, thank you. In what order will your games debut this year, next year's? The first will be the Invincible, and then?
Yeah, I think a lot of was said about that, but just to recall, yeah, the Invincible will be first, then probably the Thaumaturge. Then the new title, you just know the code name for that, so Project 10, so in Q1 2024. And then we don't know, to be honest. We are not sure if the Alters of the Frostpunk 2 will be first. It will, we will decide, like, probably at the end of this year, where we'll be with the production of those games. We are aiming for the first half. Of course, we need to account that our capabilities of marketing, we need to account we can, for example, release the games in the same month. That's obvious, but we will see. It will depend on the production side of things. Whatever the game will be in better shape, will get the first release window in that first half, and the next game will follow that. I think very, very soon.
Thank you. And the next question, finance topic, so it will be for Martin. What will be the total production budget of your internal games? How much will you spend in total on their marketing?
So thanks for that question, Bogusia. So the total production budget for our 3 internal titles is in the range of 150 million Polish zloty. And to be clear, that's money that has been invested up till now, as well as the amount of money that needs to be invested until the games are launched. And in terms of the marketing budget, I can say it's in the order of 12 to 15 million zloty.
Okay. Your cash reserves are dwindling. What will they start growing again?
Yes, I think I pointed that out in my presentation. And at the end of the first quarter, our cash reserves totaled 77 million Polish zloty. I think it's natural that as we continue investments that cash is consumed, but I expect the trend to be reversed once we start to launch our titles.
Okay. And the next question is about, can any of the games be released as exclusive, example on Epic Store, etc.? Do you have any discussions about this? What do you think about this model? Piotrek, can you help?
Yes, absolutely. Can any of the games be released as exclusive? Yes, absolutely they can. We have the discussions about that. We are discussing with all the partners, as I have mentioned before. We are discussing internally. We have offers. However, for now, we are not pursuing with that. For us, as you know, as we are always saying, we are monetizing the games for 8 years, 10 years. So it's important for us to have a successful launch that will gather a lot of players. And we see exclusives limiting that audience significantly. So that's not something that we plan at the moment. Maybe at some point we'll have a case where it will be a great fit for the game because of the platform or anything like that. But when the time comes, we'll sign.
Thank you. What does it mean you want Frostpunk to go beyond the world of video games? Are you talking to Netflix?
Yes. Okay, so the first question, what does it mean you want Frostpunk? We want to go Frostpunk to go beyond the world of the games. That means we have board game, we have novels that we have announced already next year that we are finishing at the moment. Are we talking with Netflix? Yes, we are constantly talking with Netflix and or other production companies from States. But as I said during my presentation, it's a hard thing at the moment, hard topic. But if the opportunity will come, we have all the tools and connections to make the deal and make it happen.
How do you feel about the financial goals from your incentive program?
I think another question for me,
Yes.
but thanks, Bogusia. Well, the short answer is we feel the financial targets that have been set are still achievable. We have seen the effects of inflation coming through on the cost side of our business, and that is something that we have felt, but nevertheless, we feel the goals are achievable.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell more about end project, game size, budget, general?
I think it's a bit too early.
Maybe I can pick that up. Thank you for that question. We're excited about this game, so happy to see that you're getting excited about that as well. But as I mentioned, we just announced it now publicly that there is a project N, so it's a bit too early to spoil everything. But please expect more information to drop really, really soon.
Cookie maybe will be angry at me when I share something, but what I can share is, regarding the just conceived, let's say, game size, I think it's a bit near to what you know about the Invincible or the Thaumaturge. I don't know, Cookie, if you agree with me. I think you should look at it at this kind of size of game.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be any more flat fee contracts this or next year that will significantly improve your results?
Okay, so I think that's one to me as well. you know how we work, and that flat fee were always a big part of our monetization. And we have the releases coming. So nothing that we can share or have to share at the moment, but hopefully, yes.
Are you already working on new game that will debut after 2025?
It's a tricky question because I can answer no, and that means that all of which you saw will be released, of course, during that time frame. And it's true, yeah, we are not working. We are talking about those kind of games, but we are not yet working at this kind of games in that time frame.
Okay, thank you. Dear guests, let's switch to the questions from our studio. If you'd like to ask the question, please raise your hand and then wait a second for a microphone. Okay.
It's Piotr Łopaciuk,
Hello.
PKO. I have two questions concerning the games in the publishing. One is about Project Botin. The studio behind the game announced it's creating League of Legends games. It's already revealed it. It's a relatively small studio, so how, I mean, those two creations can be combined? Does it mean, I know, it's sometimes a little smaller effort in terms of Project Botin, or how does it work? And the second question is about, because as I understand, they have like simultaneous development of these two projects. Mm-hmm. And the second question is about this Project N. It seemed that you entered at the very last phase. So, I mean, why the reason? I mean, is it like the cash needs of the developer or just marketing synergies? And what will be, I mean, what's the business case here?
I think I can answer the second one. Piotr, maybe you can answer the first one if you'd like.
I can answer the first one about the studio creating the Botin. Actually, the Mage Seeker, so the game that you have referred to based on the League of Legends IP, was already released, and we see it's a great potential for us because it's a studio that, yeah, it's true they are developing more games, but it's giving them experience, and those experienced people are strengthening the Botin team. So for us, it's only a great thing that they are doing that. And the game that the Mage Seeker was very warm welcomed, and it has a very good reviews. So it's only giving us more strength and belief in the project.
I can add to that only one thing. You said it's a very small team, something like that. It's not that small team, and the game is different than what you saw with Mage Seeker. It's a bigger game, so yeah. So that's the first one. The second thing, you're not right, sorry to say that. We are in cooperation with the Project N team already for some time ago. I think after the release, we could share a bit info why we decided on announcing it only at that moment, okay? So no, it's not the last call decision. Excuse me?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, and I know that, sorry. We just decided that that's the good moment to share the information.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? I don't see all of you. Okay, behind you in the second row.
Hello. I would like to ask a question about P8, because we saw that you are going to reveal it in 2024, right? So does it mean that it's completely on track? We can be sure that it's gonna happen. Every problems are resolved, because there was some problem quite time ago, and since now it looks like everything's fine, right?
Few things. Yeah, we had huge problems with the project, and we said that, of course, it's nothing like it's secret. We had huge problems with the, and what we said like some time ago, we saw also a huge improvement on the project, but it's delayed. Currently, as you saw that second, we are aiming for first tests like in just weeks. We ought to had those tests, to be honest, a month ago, but we just postponed it for some weeks. So we are waiting on that. It's another milestone. So we will see where we are. The game is progressing on what we see right now. Everything is going on, but it will be delayed. That's why we decided we will postpone the reveal. Plus, also, as you saw today, we have a lot of work to be done on the other games, and as you saw, we focus on this delivery window currently. And we have the scale of the marketing team, PR team, publishing, etc., and we are focused on those fields. So that's also why we will postpone a bit the reveal about the game, because we won't be able to, organize everything at once. So now it's the focus on those games. The game is delayed. It's still in this window of the incentive program, and like in few weeks we will have the same tests that were just made on the Thaumaturge, the Invincible. All of our games went through into external tests. So not in just a few weeks, the same will happen with P8.
I got just one question more. Because we saw that The Alters is going to be published on all platforms, on main platforms at once, we had no confirmation about Frostpunk. And I would like to ask what happened since last year when we had no idea if The Alters is going to be published on all platforms. So at the test, you decided that it's going to be greatest way to publish all of it, and why Frostpunk is not decided yet? Is it going to be published on all?
Thanks for the question. I tried to explain that just some minutes ago. You will just in a few months, just what we shared, just really in a few months, just after Gamescom, you will see the game, you will know the game. And what we can see and what we know, this game is easily transferable very easily transferable to all of the consoles. The gameplay-wise, it's so well works on PC or all of the platforms, so it's very easy for us to do that, and we already have that working, etc., etc. Regarding Frostpunk, is just what I said. We are aiming for that, but the difference in operation on that kind of game, on pad and mouse, is huge. So we are aiming for that. What we can say 100% it will happen. Mm-hmm. It's because of genres. Okay, that's the simple answer.
Thank you very much. That's all for today. So thank you very much for attendance.